All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to do X's and O's training. When you're part of I9 Sports, we do a lot of conversation about the why do we do what we do, and today it's about the X's and O's, the hands-on, how do we go through practices, how do we teach kids what we're trying to teach them in our sports programs. We'll start with, does everybody have a copy of this, by the way? Yes? Okay. Because you guys get to keep this. This is kind of, there's extra copies if you need them. But Jamboree Day is always your first day. You know, if you were in the meeting this past week at the parent meeting, you know we talked a lot about, you know, be visible on your first day, be, you know, where we're trying to tell you to be, because that's where we're pointing the parents to meet with you. Because if they haven't met you before, it's very frustrating for a parent to come and they don't know what the coach looks like, they don't know where to go, end up with a long line at the tent. That's what we don't like. Because you end up with a long line, you can't talk to everybody at the same time. That's why we direct them to the field or the venue that we want them to meet the coach at. So, parents come in, you know, things look a little crazy, there's a lot of people, but, you know, parents start coming in, and you get your team, or at least the majority of your team, at the time that you're supposed to start. Timing in this, to me, is very important, so if your team is supposed to meet you at 9:15, try and start at 9:15. You know, the first day, it's going to be slower, but just, you want to teach your parents to be on time. So, the faster you get going, the faster they'll learn to be there on time. When you do get them there, you go around the circle, get the kids in a circle, and teach them their names. 2 reasons. You need to learn their names, and you want them to learn their names. We're trying to build camaraderie on your team. So this is probably, you know, not something you're going to do obviously every day, but when you're trying to introduce your kids, that's an important part. What I see a lot of coaches do is they get all the kids and they say, okay, these are my kids, and they just won't go right into practice, but they haven't talked to them yet. There's no warm part to it. There's no getting to know them a little bit. You know, so it's always good for the coaches to have a little speech, a little bit about who they are, and then get the kids to introduce themselves. So when my kids are there, the first thing I do is I go through the names and I say, I'm Coach Larry, and I'm going to go through and everybody say their names and say something about themselves. So you got some cones set up and you tell them, you know, go from cone to cone, doing that. What's important is that you have a written system that you know what you're doing, okay? You can go right from my script here, do it exactly how we're doing it, or you can write your own, make it your own.
And especially if you're going to initiate some captains throughout the season, if you have it consistent to where they're learning each week, then you can say, hey Ed, you're leading today, and they kind of know by, you know, week 3, week 4.
You will find your kids that will naturally take that leadership role, or somebody want to lead today, so you give them all a turn. And if you're doing football, then you want to work through the whole body. You know, you're doing soccer, you want to focus on the running and the lower, you know, the lower body stretching, but they still have throw-ins, you know, so they have to have that arm motion, you know, and get that going. So stretches, again, relate specifically to the sport that you might be in as well. So there's just ways, you know, to vary it as well. So
when I get through the stretches, then I tell them to take a little run. You know, obviously it depends on the age and the size of your kids, whatever, but I'll tell them, you know, run to the cone and back, or if they're a little older, tell them run to the side 13 you know, over there. Whatever works for them. So then they go as a group. While they're doing that, I'm preparing myself for the next thing, which is the value of the day. When I was younger, I'd run with the kids because that's fun too. I stopped doing that when I blew a hamstring. Kids started getting a little faster, and blowing hamstrings is not fun. So, but it, you know, still young enough, go do it with them because it makes it fun for them. You know, I always chase like the slowest kid, and it makes it fun for them. You know, and it's fun for you too, right? Because you're interacting with the kids. I'm very big on individualized parts of kids. So, you know, if I see a kid running, I can kind of pick it apart and teach them how to run faster, teach them how to run better, the mechanic pieces. So, you know, whether it's running or sometimes throwing a ball, that's where my gift is. So you have to figure out where your gift is. That come in time. You know, some people are really good about calling plays. You know, really good at seeing the whole field and calling plays. Not my gift. My gift is really on the individual person. But you'll learn that as you go. Learn out where your strengths are. So then we go over the value of the day. This is a very important part. This is the part where, you know, you can create a win in no matter what the game circumstances are. So it says here on the thing, each Monday you'll receive an email with the value of that week. It will offer you some great talking points to share with your team. You'll also have a list of values at the tent, so if you forget them, or you need to know what the value of the week is, just go to the tent and they'll tell you. It'll be written on the board actually. So one of them is like listening. So we talk about listening. Usually that's what we do on week 1, is always listening. And because that's a fundamental part of all the rest of them. So listening is a great one. We usually say to parents, as you heard in the meeting, you know, what parent wouldn't want a coach talking to their kids about the value of listening. Same could be said about respect, courtesy, and all the other ones that we do. But I go through it, and again, it's a script, so you can actually read straight from the script. I recommend that you actually read the script, not necessarily to them, but definitely read through it, because the script is written to make it a communication, to make it a conversation, rather. You know, so you're not just preaching the value of the week to them, you're engaging the kids in the conversation. Some of this you have to do based on the age of the kids. So if listening, you know, is the value, you might say, Julie, what do you think listening means? What does that mean to you? And you're asking the kids these questions because you want them to respond. Sometimes
Like you listen.
you know, they'll come back with lots of different things. You know, their minds will go, and they'll, sometimes they won't answer, but you know what, you'll learn something from the kids that don't answer too. You know, you're learning a little bit about the kids, and other kids will have every explanation in the world. So it's really fun actually, because you're learning something about your kids as you're giving this speech about whatever the value may be. So go through the value, tell them, you know, who are the right people to listen to. You know, mom and dad, absolutely right. Mom and dad are the ones who love you the most. They're going to point you in the right directions. You make a big deal out of that. Some other people you might want to listen to is your teachers in school. You know, obviously your coaches. That's really important, particularly in the sports program. Listen to your coaches. Your coaches are trying to guide you and help you do the right things. Go through that process. Might be respect. You know, who are the best people? You know, questions aren't coming to my mind right now, but you know, respect is a great one. Determination is one of my favorites. That's one of our values. And I talk about the value of determination and what it actually means, and kind of describe what the word means and how it can play a part in their lives. So again, this is a 5-minute deal. You run through it, less than 5 minutes really, to be honest with you, but do that part, and then at the end of your game, this is when the awards come from. Somebody's going to get that medal.
And it's a good idea at the beginning when you're doing that value, especially on Jamboree Day, to have that medal in your pocket and say, if somebody's going to give it.
Stress off to you as a coach. So if you're playing flag football, I know this is mostly soccer, right? So soccer, you're playing 6-on-6. So we'll go with the soccer version. So that means that from 1 through 6, you're in for the first series. I'm sorry, I say series when I mean football. With soccer, it's every 2 minutes. We do a rotation every 2 minutes. So 1 through 6, you're on the field. That means 7 and 8, you're not on the field yet. After 2 minutes, we'll stop the ref. We'll stop when the ball goes out of bounds or whatever, we'll say ref, rotation, and then 7 and 8 will come in. 1 and 2 will go off. 2 more minutes goes by. 1 and 2 come back in. 3 and 4, you're off. 3 and 4 will come back in. 5 and 6, you're off. Okay, and you just go like that throughout the whole day, every 2 minutes. Again, it doesn't matter if you have 8 kids, 9 kids, whatever. You just know who you have on the bench, and you tell them, what's your numbers? Blah, blah, blah. And you know who's next, right? You're replacing the next 3 or the next 2 or whatever the case may be. If it's football, I do it by series. I don't do it by time, I do it by series. And so I say for the first series, 1 through 5, you're in. At the end of that series, whether they're offense or defense, doesn't matter. They run through the series, then they come back. At the end of the series, 6, 7, 8, you're in. 1, 2, and 3, you're off. Trust me, that doesn't always work best for having the winning guys on your line or who you have on the field. I get that part, but it is fair, and it keeps it, and the kids know where they are. They won't continue to come to you and say, I want to go in, I want to go in, I want to go in. You'll put a stop to that right away, and the parents will know what the rotation is. So you'll take a lot of stress off of you as a coach, takes the stress off the kids. As a player, they're not constantly saying, I want to go in, I want to win. They know when they're going in next. You've communicated that already. And again, communication is key. That's where things start to fall apart. So having that pre-communicated at the beginning of the season, it just makes life so much easier. Okay? That's the rotation schedule. Any questions about how that rotation schedule works? By the way, with T-ball, it's a little different because with our T-ball program, everybody just, however many kids show up, everybody gets the bat every inning. So
Rotation does not apply.
right. Okay, we are here again at X's and O's training. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the stretching part and the value of stretching. I would like all of our coaches to make sure that they're taking the kids through a stretching routine every time you get together with them, every time you have a practice. The reason being, guys, is they may be small. You may not think they're going to get hurt if they don't stretch, but I promise you, if you don't teach them to stretch now, they won't do it later when they get older and it really matters. So take them through a stretching routine. I have a very simple routine that I like to go through. It's worked very well for me, and it's easy to teach. So you work from the top of your body down. You start right by rolling your neck, and you get the kids to roll your neck, and you're getting them to count out loud as they're doing it. Do it as a team. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through the whole stretching routine. Roll your neck the other direction. Then I move to the shoulders, then I stretch out the back, and then I go to the hamstrings and the legs. 4, 5, and back the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back rolls.
Oh, I don't work on my feet turn. I can keep it stationary.
How about you stretch your triceps like this?
Okay, perfect.
Well, biceps.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk. They can just show this in video. They can crop it in. Oh, my voice.
No laughing stretches.
Should I do them? You're counting as a team, as a group. Count it out to 10, and you switch to the other leg. Okay? Again, holding, count it out as a team. You want to feel that burn. You're talking to your kids. You want them to feel. Get them to sit down like this for a few minutes till they're comfortable, and then you go to the squats. All right? I love squats. I get them to do 20 squats. All right? As a team, we're counting it out. I count down. They go 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5. Go through 20. Okay? That's a great workout for the kids. All right? I also get them to run in place. Get their knees up. Get them go fast. And then I break. I make them run. Okay?
Okay, this time you're going to dribble through and you're going to pass off to the other person. So if you don't have enough soccer balls, you want to split the team so that everybody's moving all the time. You don't want 6 kids standing over here doing nothing because they're going to get very distracted and their attention span is about this big.
Smaller.
Okay? All right, Jonathan, you're dribbling first. Go. All right, you're going to stay there. Okay, I want you guys over here. I want you using the ball like this, okay? Keep your feet moving.
Right.
There you go, Larry. Jonathan, stay in that line now.
Yep.
All right, good job, Larry. Everybody cheer for Larry. Woo!
Larry.
Good job. All right, Paul. All right, you guys keep your feet moving. Keep your feet moving. That ball's coming. Getting ready to go.
I know you guys
All
are
right,
wondering,
Paul, pass it
why
off
do
to
I not play
Krista.
soccer?
There you go. All
There's
right,
my
this
fourth
is
sport.
really good, you guys. Oh, I think Krista's beating you. Girl power!
Oh, you jinxed it.
You can't pass.
Yeah, pretty much. It's 7 to 9 as long as they keep their feet on the ground. It's not until we get to juniors or seniors, so
But when you start teaching the
2
throwing,
feet.
do you
Right.
just
just 2 feet together. As they get older and you see more advanced, or like they're going like this, then you can kind of try and teach them the drag. So, all right, go throws. Ball's on that side.
Good
There,
throw,
give your
Steve.
partner the ball. All right, go. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, Paul.
Ooh, look at that knee trap.
Good knee trap. Good knee trap. I was practicing my verbals.
Nice ball.
That's good.
All right,
I
switch.
like
There
it.
you go,
All right.
Steve. Good, good. Keep trying.
Switch.
Keep
Have your
going.
other partner do your throw-ins, please.
Oh, well, not here to listen.
All right, we're gonna go a little quicker this time. You guys got this.
Good job.
That's right. Right in front. Good. See how Krista scooped that up? She scooped that and kept it with her. Okay, go.
Sorry.
Go, Ed, go.
Oh, guys, and seriously, Coach Julie.
Hey! So in that, hey! Go on.
Yeah.
Good job. So
Tight
Man.
flag.
try to get to the other side without me pulling your flag. Okay? And it goes like that, right? Down, set, hey! Make sure the flags go